Help the family grow here at the Raiders Report by hitting that subscribe button. I want to get to 171,000 subs by the time we go up against the Minnesota Vikings, and they've been talking a lot of smack here at Chat Sports. If you believe that you don't have to be blood to be family, because that's what the nation has taught me, hit that subscribe button right now. Raider Nation, what's going on? It's Mitchell Renz here, host of the Raiders Report. And coming up on today's show, we're going to get into some of the biggest and losers from Raiders training camp after 6 practices so far. I'm going to be breaking down some winners on the offensive side of the football, some losers on the offensive side of the football, and they're doing the exact same thing with the defense because, hey, you got to clean it up with the D. One person that I do think is definitely a winner from training camp is Antonio Pierce, because when you're a man like AP and when you can humble yourself a little bit and you can take on advice from other coaches that have done it at a high level, that have won Super Bowls, that to me is something that Josh McDaniels would have never done. And I want y'all to spam AP, because here's the one thing. He said it himself. He's out there watching. He sees what people are saying about him. And I want him to know that the Raiders Report, we got his back the entire season. Let's get into some of these winners here for the Silver and Black. Maybe the biggest winner, Dylan Laube, running back here for the Silver and Black, drafted in the 6th round out of New Hampshire, has shown that he can catch the football. Started working with the ones in third down situations. Then has been doing a little bit on special teams, some kick returns, some punt returns. Anybody out there that thought that this guy wasn't going to make an impact in year one, you better check yourself, because Laube, he is absolutely going to be making an impact. Let's go to another rookie here. It's Brock Bowers, and you could say maybe the second biggest winner on the offensive side of the football for the Silver and Black. They're using him as a fullback, as a wide receiver, as a tight end. They're using him on jet sweeps. He is going to be used like a George Kittle, Deebo Samuel hybrid for all y'all that watched receiver. Special player, special talent, and a 12 personnel. Y'all better get ready for what Brock Bowers is going to bring. The next player I'm going to bring up here is Anthony Brown Jr., and the only reason why I'm bringing up ABJ is for the simple fact of Gardner Minshew hasn't taken the job yet. Aidan O'Connell hasn't taken the job yet, and the fact that neither of those two quarterbacks has really been like, you know what, this is my job, and that's not my words. Those are Antonio Pierce's words from just a few days ago when he spoke to the media. So my question to the nation out there is this, and you know what? I got a pinned comment alert. This is going to be the pinned comment on today's show. Should the Raiders consider starting Anthony Brown Jr. at quarterback? I want you to go down to the comments section, type yes, type no. My answer is going to be coming up here after this YouTube ad break. I love the hype around Anthony Brown. He had a beautiful touchdown run earlier this week during practice. But to me, I do really truly believe that the Raiders starting quarterback should be whoever gives us the best chance to win. If Antonio Pierce can look me dead in the eyes and say that that's Anthony Brown Jr., well, then guess what? I got to support AP. I got to support that decision. I will admit this, though. If Brown wins the quarterback job, that should make the nation a little bit nervous. He's a career backup. To me, he's a good QB3. He's going to win that battle up against Carter Bradley. And I know that a lot of people are fired up about that athletic ability and the fact that he can run because, it's not really Aidan's strength. That's not really Gardner Minshew's strength. But the reason why I'm talking about this is because I want to do a better job during the season of showing what other people amongst the nation are saying. And I saw Raider Al here on Twitter that said, Anthony Brown Jr. needs starter reps. He's a true dual threat quarterback with a stronger arm than Minshew. I don't know if I agree with that. If AP, Antonio Pierce, is preaching competition, and it doesn't matter where you come from, he needs to be in the quarterback one combo, especially if AOC and Minshew don't seize the job. I hear what you're saying, but to me, I still want to have Aidan go out there. I still want to have Gardner Minshew getting majority of the starter reps. Let's see what they do in the first preseason game. And then if it's still at this point after that first preseason game, that's when I might hit that panic meter a little bit. And then you might be able to give Anthony Brown some reps. I just think it's too early to put him in that true QB1 conversation. Let's go to the next guy here, Davante Adams. Trevon Merrick said it yesterday that Davante does what Davante does. He's the best player on that field. Probably every time he goes out there on the offensive side, unless he steps onto the field with Maxx Crosby, he's one of the best receivers in the biz, and I think he's got a little bit of a chip on his shoulder this season. And for anybody freaking out that he said that he wants to win a Super Bowl to finish his career, to make sure that that's like the ultimate pedigree, if you're upset by that comment, then you can get the hell out of here, because that's every player's dream. That's what every player wants, is to win a freaking Super Bowl. Let's go to the final winner here. I got the offensive side of the football. I'm going to go Michael Mayer. Mayer dropped 10 pounds. He's looking like he's a lot faster. I heard earlier, it's probably like a week and a half ago, somebody compared Michael Mayer to George Kittle. They're using him a lot more. His athletic ability, red zone option, a lot of 12 personnel, and I'll admit, I am a little bit worried about the Raiders' wide receiver depth after Gallup retired. Big tier break there after Tre Tucker. But the Raiders are going to use Mayer, Brock Bowers, Harrison Bryant to kind of fill in that void with all those other receivers there. Let's now go to the losers here, unfortunately, on the offensive side of the football. And I think you got to say the offense has been a loser. Just because the QBs haven't been as sharp, the offensive line's been a little bit banged up, and they've been getting beat by the defense. I'll also say they're learning a new offense with Luke Getsy. The Raiders' defense is a lot more talented, and they're basically third year right here with Patrick Graham. I am not hitting the panic button on the offense, but let's be real. The defense has definitely outperformed them. Therefore, the offense has lost training camp so far. Let's go to the next loser here. And this one, I don't know why people got so mad at me yesterday when I said that, according to Vic Tafur, Tre Tucker has been having a rough training camp. Tafur said it. I've gotten some notes on it as well. It's been reported. Tucker's had some drop issues. The expectation for Tucker is here. That's my expectation for Tucker. And because he's doing it right here, right now, I bet even Tucker would say, I can do a better job. You know what, Tre? No disrespect to you. I think that you're going to be the secret weapon on our offense this season. I'm just asking. I think the nation's asking. And I think even you know that you could do a better job. And dang it, I'm hoping that it ends up happening, bro. Let's go to the next loser here. It's Cody Whitehair. Whitehair's filling in for Jackson Powers-Johnson as a left guard on that left side. And he's been getting absolutely worked on the interior of the defensive tackles. Not an easy assignment. He looks like he's 34 years old, though. It's giving me white hair. Let's go to the next loser. It's Dylan Parham, on the other side of the interior. And I know that he's been better with Thayer Munford. I will say that. He's been better with Thayer Munford. The other day in practice when Munford went out and DJ Glaze came in, Parham also got worked a little bit more there. My concern is, though, we could talk about Davante Adams, Brock Bowers, all these players that we have on the offensive side of the football, and there's always going to be a lot of concentration on Aidan, always going to be a lot of concentration on Gardner, whoever the starting quarterback is. You can't block up front. These two guys need to step up. If JPJ, Colton Miller, any injuries happen, especially Parham, I expect more out of him entering year 3. And then the final loser here, and it's not really anything that Ameer Abdullah has done. Quite frankly, I think Ameer Abdullah has done pretty damn good at training camp. But Dylan Laube is just lit training camp on fire, and it's only taken 6 practices for him to already start getting number 1 reps in that third down role. He's already getting those first string reps, if you will, kick return, punt returning. Ameer Abdullah was the RB3. It ain't that anymore. He's now the RB4. Hell, I might even put Laube in that RB2 consideration with Alexander Madison. Maybe could have put both of those guys up there. Not because they're playing bad, because Laube's just lighting this shit on fire. Coming up next here on the Raiders Report, I got some winners on the defensive side of the football. And realistically, I probably could have done a whole show around the winners on the defense. There's just so damn many of them because that's what Patrick Graham and AP are going to bring, Super Bowl caliber defense. Before I get into that, though, I want you all to cancel unnecessary subscriptions with our awesome sponsor here at Rocket Money. How many people out there like to save money? Exactly, all of us. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so that you can grow your savings. With Rocket Money, I have full control over my subscriptions and a clear view of my expenses. I can see all of my subscriptions in one place, and I see something I don't want. Rocket Money can help me cancel it in a few steps. I love my fiance, Alex, but man, she is the queen of signing up for a free trial and then forgetting about it, and then bang, I get hit with it a month, 2 months, 3 months later. Rocket Money helps me and her make sure that we aren't just throwing money away. If you're someone saving up for a house, a wedding, maybe it's a car, a vacation, Raiders tickets, heck, you can even check your credit score, then you should definitely go to rocketmoney.com/LVRaiders. Stop wasting money on things you don't use. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions by going to rocketmoney.com/LVRaiders. Rocket Money has helped over 5 million users and has saved a total of $500 million in canceled subscriptions, saving members up to $740 a year when using all the app's features. So, Nation, what are you waiting for? That's rocketmoney.com/LVRaiders, rocketmoney.com/LVRaiders. Those links are going to be available to y'all down in the comments and in the description of today's show. Let's go to a winner here. It's Maxx Crosby. He's the best player on defense in the NFL. I'm going to say it again. He's the best defensive player in the NFL, and I think he deserves getting some of that recognition. Dude's a fire plug. Dude's a spark plug, and he's bringing that energy, bringing that swagger, and I can't wait for the rest of the world to see it. Let's go to another clear winner here. It's Adam Butler. John Jenkins has been a little bit banged up, hasn't been out there on the practice field, Butler's been stepping in nicely. If the season were to start, it would be Christian Wilkins, John Jenkins as your top 2 starting defensive tackles, and Butler's been doing his thing. Next name that you got to make a winner, it's Nate Hobbs. There was some early speculation, me included, if Jack Jones was about to take over the number 1 cornerback job from Hobbs, and Hobbs has kind of silenced that a little bit just because he is the true key to the defense, is what Ricky Manning, Raiders cornerback coach, earlier this offseason called him. He could play inside. He could play outside. The Raiders wouldn't even be afraid to use him at safety. He is a true dominant player, and I hope that he's in silver and black for a long time. But here's the question, though. He's going to be a free agent next offseason. We got $34.1 million in salary cap. That's top 6 in the NFL. Would you extend Nate Hobbs before the season starts? Today is August 1st, y'all. It's crazy. It's August. Football for the Raiders, we're about, 5-6 weeks away at this point. Would you extend Hobbs before the season starts? I want you to type extend, or I want you to type don't. The reason why these are really important is because after shows, the next day, 48 hours later, I go down in the comments and I look. All right, who typed extend? Oh, who typed don't? Who responded to my pinned comment? Do all that stuff. If it was up to me, I would say that Nate Hobbs needs to stay healthy this season and prove that he can do that for an extension. If the Raiders are winning football games and he's staying healthy and we kind of get near like that NFL trade deadline, that's when you could potentially give him an extension. I'll also say this, though. It's a difficult conversation because we have so many players that I think could get extensions and so many good defensive players that are going to be free agents next offseason. Trevon Merrick, free agent. Marcus Epps, free agent. Both of those guys, as AP has said, they're like the leaders on that defense in the secondary. Because they're so well in tune, could AP decide to keep both of them? Potentially. You could also say Robert Spillane, a captain. Where's the green dot? Malcolm Kuntz might be the player that gets the most money out of it all. The Raiders have a lot of decisions to make, and I'll be happy if they give Hobbs an extension. I ain't going to be upset about it, but if it was up to me, I'd make him stay healthy. Not stay healthy. I'd make him prove it this season because he's got the talent for extension. He needs to prove that he can stay healthy. Let's go to another winner here on the defensive side of the football, Charles Snowden. Just going to tell you all this right now. If you're doing a 53-man roster projection video, I've done a ton. I've never had Snowden in. If I were to do one right now, I think I would end up putting him in. He's been impressive. He's battling right now with Janarius Robertson. Ellerson Smith is kind of taking a step back a little bit, not because of anything he's done. Snowden is getting a lot of eyes, and a lot of coaches and players are starting to notice it. The final winner here that I'm going to give is Jakorian Bennett, and like I said when I started this, it was so hard to pick the 5 biggest winners, and I'm not saying these are the 5 players that played the best on defense. I'm saying for where the expectation was, minus Max, where the expectation was and how well maybe they've played and, where they're at now, Jakorian Bennett, I think, is almost locked in the fact that if the season started today, he would be the opposite starting corner. Brandon Faison's been banged up next to Jack Jones, next to Nate Hobbs, and he's been playing well. Got a little handsy yesterday in practice, but you know what? Hey, guys, we always get a little handsy. If you guys are ready for the Raiders to shock the world with this defense, because I've seen a lot of chirping. I've seen a lot of people say we're going to go 3-14. A lot of people saying we're going to have the number 1 overall pick. Cool. Doubt us. Bulletin board material, AP, because I know that this is a Super Bowl caliber defense. And when you look at all the numbers from last season, they were the best defense in the NFL when AP took over. Get ready. Hit that like button right now if you're ready for this Raiders defense to shock the world. Some of the other disrespectful Madden ratings that I saw, and I wanted to just throw this in because this just goes to show how people don't believe in this Raiders defense, and there's plenty. This is just on the defensive side of the football. Jack Jones, Tyree Wilson. This Malcolm Kuntz one makes me want to throw up. And then Adam Butler at 72. I don't know who's making Madden. I don't know what they're doing necessarily, but they ain't doing the right things. That I can tell you. Coming up next here on the show, let's get to the losers on the defense. And this might have been the hardest part of the entire show, if I'm being real with all y'all. But before I get into that, Chugs and I were doing a meetup on August 14th. It's when the Raiders have that joint practice at Allegiant Stadium. I'll be there with Chugs. David Zahn and Taino Raider will also be joining us. But then after practice, 9 p.m., I know, it's a little bit late, we're doing a dinner at Joel's Chophouse. This is the dinner spot that Chugs and I say it's the best dinner that we have ever had. Here's how you can join us. Make a reservation on an open table, and in the notes section, put Raiders Report for a discount. Whether you want some food, whether you want to have a drink with us, they're keeping it open for us, so we got to pack this joint. It is limited space, so please make your reservations now. And at any point, if you're like, Mitch, man, I can't join. I can't go on August 14th. I promise you this. I've talked to Joel. The guy who owns the restaurant's name's Joel. It's Joel's Chophouse. It's his restaurant. If at any point during the Raiders season you put Raiders Report in the notes section, he will hook you up and take care of you. It's the greatest dinner that we have ever had. Let's get into some of these losers here. The first name I'm going to bring up is Tre Taylor. It's not because of his play. Quite frankly, his play's been good. It was the Patrick Mahomes, Kermit the Frog situation. I expect more from Tre. I've talked to some of Tre's family members. Tre is a bright young kid, Jim Thorpe Award winner, Air Force, very, very good kid. And I think, even AP, he said he's handled that situation, and it's just because you expect Tre to do something a little bit else. Don't get me wrong. I hate Patrick Mahomes too. I love that he's getting the team fired up. I like that kind of stuff. But just because of all the other distractions that it caused, I need a season this year with no distractions. Let's go to another name here. It's Brandon Faison. Dude's been pretty banged up with injuries, and he's had a lot of injury concerns, and this has allowed Jakorian Bennett to kind of take a little bit more of a reign on that cornerback job, and Decamerion Richardson a few times has looked pretty good. Let's go to another name here, Ellerson Smith. He's simply on this list because he was battling with Janarius Robinson, with Charles Snowden, probably for that fourth defensive end role behind Malcolm, behind Tyree, behind Mad Max, and he's the sixth guy right now. Another name that I'm going to throw in here is Matthew Butler. Byron Young has been doing better in terms of, in the coach's eyes, gaining a little confidence. Butler's just not as physical as what this Raiders defensive tackle room is looking for. And then the final name I'm going to go with here is Chris Smith. One player that I really thought about putting as the winner is Isaiah Paulomeo because from what I understand, he is the clear-cut number 3 safety, and it's not close. Behind Epps, behind Merrick, and with Smith being that McDaniels guy, being a Ziegler guy, he needs to go out there and needs to start showing it a little bit more. Not that he's done bad. He just hasn't separated himself to tell that coaching staff, this new regime, I deserve to make this team. So here we go. We're going to end the video like this. If you want to take a screenshot, you want to tag me on Twitter or X or on Instagram, I'm at Mitchell Renz 365. You want to share these, please. Hey, don't even be afraid to add me as a collab. If you also want to do it with the training camp losers, you can. I just encourage anybody to just tell people, hey, you got to check out the video to hear why these players are winners and why these players are losers. Before I get on out of here, see you later, nation. I don't know how. It's not dinner. Live show today at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. Pacific. Chugs isn't going to be here with me. I'm actually going to have Trizzy Trace, and we're launching a ton of new things for the season because here at the Chat Sports world, the Raiders Report world, our season starts today. In fact, have you noticed how many new graphics we had going on? We got a bunch of them. Tell me how many you noticed. And it's crazy that a preseason football game is tonight, and I know it's only the preseason, but I can't wait to watch real life football. If you want to watch Jeremy Chugs do his thing, he's going to be live on our Texans YouTube channel. If you want to watch Harrison Grant from our Bears show do his thing, he's going to be on our Bears YouTube channel here at Chat Sports. Type Texans Chat Sports, Bears Chat Sports, but I want to know who you got, Texans, Bears. I got to roll with my guy Chugs. Give me Houston to put it down. Hopefully it's a good game. Hopefully no injuries happen. I'll see you guys here in a few more hours, 4 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. Pacific, live on the Raiders Report.